People are affected every day by anxiety or waves of emotions. But if either of those things get serious, you may need to get help. 40 million Americans suffer from some type of anxiety disorder. Anxiety is typically a common disorder. It's important to get to know yourself before you realize if there's something actually wrong. Everyone gets anxiety. However, just because you feel anxious does not mean you're mentally ill. Anxiety is something people deal with in their day-to-day life. However, it can be more adamant for those who have been diagnosed with a disorder. Although anxiety is common, it is very difficult for those with disorders. Everyone deals with anxiety at some point in their life. Actually, anxiety is a very common thing. Most people get anxious for when they go into a job interview or try something new. For those people with anxiety disorders, they deal with these things very different. People with disorders will get severely anxious about little things, such as going out with friends or doing the very simple everyday task. People who struggle with these kind of disorders often develop mental health issues. There are 5 main types of anxiety disorders. These include generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and social anxiety disorder. Generalized anxiety is a disorder is characterized by persistent and excessive worry about a number of different things. Most people get anxious a normal amount throughout the day. The normal amount would be maybe once or twice a day, or not even at all. Someone with GAD will get anxious throughout the day with every little thing. OCD is a very misunderstood mental disorder. People with OCD are thought to be very tidy and clean. However, that is not always the case. People with OCD also experience intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts cause great distress. They are always unwanted in the person's brain. Obsessive compulsive disorder is a mental health disorder that affects people of all ages and walks of life and occurs when a person gets caught in a cycle of obsessions and compulsions. Now let's talk about panic disorder. This mental illness can be very damaging to the person that possesses it. Similar to PTSD, panic disorder can be caused by a traumatic event. However, this illness can also run in the family. Panic disorder is a type of anxiety disorder. It causes panic attacks, which are sudden feelings of terror when there is no real danger. You may feel as if you're losing control. Needless to say, PTSD is a very scary disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event. Either experiencing it or witnessing it, symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. The difference between sadness and depression can be hard to figure out sometimes. Medical news today says that feeling sad is an integral part of depression, but they are not the same. Feeling sad is normal human emotion, but depression can affect your life in ways that sadness cannot. People with depression usually lack hygiene and sometimes even have suicidal thoughts. For most people with depression, suicide is a very adamant thought. People with depression usually feel hopeless and empty for many days. Sadness usually goes in a few days. In conclusion, mental issues are not something to be taken with a grain of salt. It is a very important issue and can affect everyone in the world. I feel as if people need to educate themselves on the topic of mental health. Places such as schools and businesses need to make more outlets for teens dealing with these problems. Everyone's mental health is important, and we should all make sure that our own is taken care of.